there's no shine today. It's over cloudy, but that doesn't mean the workout stop. Let's get this workout in. Um, Morning Marijuana Motivation. I'm your host with the Moses Marquis Saint, and every morning I get up and I am blessed to be alive. I am blessed to feel and to breathe and to remember. These are all blessings that we all have, whether we like to focus on them or not. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, was the fact that your whole life and mine has all worked out. Now, I could sit here and tell you about how many problems I have, but I don't use the word problems, I use the word challenges. And then I can go on about how I've lost things, but I didn't really lose things. They're just possessions, and we don't get to take them with us. And I could tell you about all my fear, but most of all, I'd like to talk about hope. You know, everything works out. As I look over here at the oven with the got my new place here. It's a very common spot, very meek, but I got the oven. Ask and you shall receive. Boom, boom, baby, boom. Got myself some asked and got it. So check it out. Asked and got it. Natural gas so I can cook my eggs in the morning. Trash can so I can throw away my trash, not my organics, by the way. Organics go here. I want to show this off because this came completely out. A whole thing from the passion fruit, which I just thought was absolutely amazing. New fan, check. New bed sheet, check. Granola frying pan, check. And yes, of course, eggs for the morning breakfast. Now, it's a very simple living. Most people don't get this simple. We, let me look that up. We have so many other things that we have cluttering our lives that I literally ran away from the clutter. And as they tow my truck back home, and I don't know if I'm going to get it back ever again, or as they took some of my furniture when we had to move out, never saw that again. I think about how impermanent our struggles are, how we build them into huge mountains that we think are unsurmountable, but even Mount Everest gets climbed. And out of pure example, there's just so many lessons in everything that we're given to us, right? It's in front of us. It's given to us as a lesson, and so many times I've seen it as a stressing over a lesson, and I forget, beyond the golden rule, here's another one. It all works out. You wouldn't be here if it didn't. If it was your actual fatal moment, it'd be fatal, it'd be finite, and it'd be over. And so many of us, no, I'm not naked, I got my boxers on. We tend to, let me get this up and going for us, build things out of proportion because we are addicted to the drama. We are addicted to the attention of the drama, like having something in our lives, like at least I'm not dead. Well, how do I prove that I'm alive? Well, I got this and this going on. I got this and that in my head. And this is happening to me right now. You don't understand. This is happening to me right now. And at least something's happening to somebody, right? At least they're alive. And I know, right? Junk all in the face. And I was trying to stretch. I ate one pizza and my abdomen just completely changed, by the way. So diet is hugely important. This part right here. One pizza, I was doing so good. Anyway, so it all works out in the end. I keep working out and it all works out. And there's so many of us that fret. Again, this whole week I've been talking about the amount of control I put on my life and trying to control the outcome, as if I was so powerful enough to know what the outcome will be. And the truth is, I'm not sure what my ending will be. I'm not sure where my ideas come from. And I'm not sure how it all works out, but it does. Right? That's the magic of it, is that it does work out. And that we end up still alive. We might still be worrywarts, but we're still there to worry. And that's the point, is that no matter what's been thrown at you, you're still standing. If you weren't, you'd be buried, and you wouldn't have yourself on your back, looking up in a coffin, trying to find your YouTube videos. That's not going to happen. What is going to happen is the continuation of life. And the quality of that life is really determined by our mindset. The reason this is so important is that's the lens. That's the ultimate lens for us to view things, is our mindset. The way we decide to perceive people, the way we decide to perceive our challenges, the way we decide to perceive our bodies. And that's so crucial. You know, everybody can look at the same thing. I'll say it again, Tommy Lee, Pamela Anderson, they're getting divorced. Psychiatrist slaps some change on the table. What do you see? I see 3 round objects. What do you see? 35 cents, and all of us being right. But then there's a right way to look at our perspective, and there's a wrong way to look at our perspective. There's ways for us to be in our minds about how fucked up shit is. Like me losing my cell phone, I was so pissed. Like I didn't teach that week. I was supposed to start my English classes here in Brazil, and I didn't because I had some of my lesson plans right there in the phone. And then I found out the same day I lost my phone, I lost my friend. And you asked me which one would I rather have more. I'd rather have my friend, but that's not my choice. And the next choice would be to bump my phone. And that didn't happen either. And that's all right. Because I'm here. Like, I am here. The source of the information, the source of the quotes, the source of everything I got in my life came through me. Not from me, but through me, through my hands. The amount of monies that's come through my hands, the amount of ideas that's come through my mind, the amount of people that's loved me in my soul. And it's so important to know that you can feel lonely and then instantly meet somebody new and you're not alone anymore. And how many of us hold on to these things as if it's the final truth? And unfortunately, our brains get wired to self-destruct ourselves, right? I was just listening to Mike Tyson, even after you reach the highest heights, the next one is the lowest lows. And let's go on and destroy ourselves. Let's ambush ourselves with drama and fear and misunderstanding because, oh, well, I don't have. Well, we can count on many hands what we don't have. That seems to be the easiest part of our brain. The hardest part of our brain would be to count our blessings. And a lot of us, we don't see the blessings. We don't see, like we're talking about Taoism, we don't see the blessings out of, like, let's say my truck getting towed. And like, how's that a blessing, you know? Like, you had something that was worth money and then they take it away from you. That's your vehicle, that's your transportation. But it was also my ticket to jail, federal prison, and a lot of heartache between me and my stepfather. Knowing damn well that car could have been wrecked with me in it, wrapping itself around a pole, and I wouldn't care or cry a tear that the vehicle was wrecked because it's just metal pieces. And that I can go buy another vehicle. And this is the aha moment where you're like, well, shit, you got the new Tesla out of this. I'd love to say that, by the way. But if that's the case, that's not what's happening right now yet. But in my perspective, in the moment, it's on DEFCON 5. It's all the way the needle went all the way, slammed into the red zone and said, yo, we got an emergency. The only time you really got an emergency is when you got a physical threat or emergency. So many of us can't wait to ring the alarm of our lives, right? Instead of continuing to live our lives. And that's something that is the present. That's our gift now, to remember that all we're keeping in this life is our life. Nothing is permanent, and everything works out. And just as I'm working out right now, it's not easy. you know, to remind yourself of positivity when you're feeling negativity. It's not easy to get your mind right when your mind's in a dark place. It's not easy to get your body right when you don't feel like your body can be right. And there's something to be said about it all working out in the end, where you're like, damn, if I would have known. And I talk about it all the time. You know, that mountain, it's a hell of a climb, but only after we've done the work, after we climbed, that point of view, that perspective from the top of the mountain is tremendous, because then you can look back at your trail and go, oh shit, that's why that happened. Lose my truck, meet the love of my life. Which one would I rather have? Lose my cell phone or lose my friend gets murdered? Which one would I rather have? And these choices, we don't necessarily get to see them as clear, right? We don't view it in the same lens. And as I got moved, I used to live here, by the way. I lived over here by the bigger house. And they're like, yo, we're closing down the hostel. You're going to have to find a new place. This was last month at the first of the month. And I go back to my old place. Luckily, there was no one there, and it worked out. And I got a place, and it all worked out. And then came back here and got the new apartment, and it all worked out. Needed a place for the full month. And these things keep working out in my favor. But before I'm inconvenienced, my perspective is, oh, well, why do I got to move? I could have just stayed here and moved directly over. That wouldn't have been the vibe. At the time, people needed space from my energy, and I needed space from theirs, and things need to get completed. We actually just finished this little walkway, this concrete walkway. I'm actually quite proud we helped dig the whole pile back. But this whole form and function, I guess I'm getting a window, was all poured while I was gone. Change had occurred, and enough change had occurred for me to be able to come back. And a lot of people, they want it so instantaneously that they're gonna bitch and moan and almost fuck up the blessing till the next one comes. And that's something I wanted to talk about, is that even despite yourself and your complaining, things end up working out. You know, they end up coming to our favor. Now, I have a friend, old man Dave. He's counting down the days that he's gonna die. He's like, well, I'm still alive and I never win. And has that perspective, that never win mentality. But once again, he's risen up every day. And just like I learned from my depression days, which aren't that far off, but back in the day when I was really bad, before I became inspirational, before I started my own business, before I had any direction in my life, that's what was starting to happen. I couldn't see the forest through the trees. I couldn't grasp my meaning. You know, I didn't feel like a winner. I hadn't won anything yet. But I kept waking up. And this is huge, right? Like, keep waking up. And I'm like, dude, I got my car getting impounded. Or, no, it did get impounded. My girlfriend left me. This all happened within a 2-week period. I got fired from my job. I was selling drugs, went to jail, selling ecstasy pills. Not at my nightclub, but somewhere else. So by the time I got out, my car had got impounded. No, it was there, but later, because I didn't make the payment, it got impounded. I got evicted. I got broke up with. And I had some issues in my days, right? This was like the worst 2-week period. And as I'm crying in the closet, right, and sleeping all weird hours, and depression was firmly in hold, I kept waking up I was myself. And I don't know how else to say this, but I realized that I wasn't going to wake up as anyone else, that this was my journey, my path, and mine alone. And that this was going to be the vehicle that I'm in, like my body, right? This life, mistake riddled, confused, depressed. It's important that I talk about these things, because there are people that are going to need this. A lot of people get to watch the Mike Tysons of the world, but they never did any. They weren't world champion. They didn't have Tony Robbins on their fucking couch to come talk them out of them biting people's ears. Instead, what had happened is that I kept being me. and you're gonna have to keep being you. Whoever watches these messages, I put them out into the universe. I don't know who's gonna get them. I don't know what's everyone's purpose. Is that water? That is water. Okay. From the shower. Got you. All these things have given me an awareness of how real our lives are to ourselves. You know, it's not a fictitious movie. There isn't going to be a Hollywood actor playing you. I mean, there's some people that get it like that, but they still have to live their lives. And even if you're in a blockbuster film, you still got to live your life. And that's something that I started to quickly realize was it. That I had this in my life. And these things, these too shall pass. But they were going to be experienced before they passed. And the result was still going to be the same. That I was alive. My life was worth more than my challenges. Thanks for working out with me. What a crazy experience to know that no matter what got thrown at me, I was still going to get to wake up. And that this game of life wasn't like a video game where I could keep pressing it down or blow on the cartridge and it would disappear. No, that's not the case. Instead, what is the case is that our game is Radio Player 1. We're going to go through many levels just to level up. And that is huge for people that really are trying to get past some of these funky knee pains, mental pains, the struggle that's in front of them right now, that it all works out. By the time you hit the grave and you married the man or woman of your dreams, you had the children that you wanted to have, you went and got the education that you thought you're too old to do, or got the job or started that business you never thought you would start. These things end up adding up to more than our drama, then more than those problems. We end up going, well, that's a scratch. And just like a corporation, they have write-offs for this. They have a 10% loss rate in clothing, where they're just like, somebody's going to come in here and steal at least 10% of our hoodies. You know, just hurricane happen. Fucks with you here. As people come in on here. These things happen. Oh, there we go. Kiwi Bear, what's up, bro? I can see you right now. And then it doesn't even really matter anymore on the sheets, because you got 90% of the rest of your life to live and have, versus that little 20%, 10% that you lost. So we take loss and lose very badly in America. We consider it as just almost like shameful. But as I got told today by your boy Iron Mike Tyson, got told today, listen to the video. But that's how many lessons you got, right? Like, what value to have is the experiences that don't kill you, right? They say that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger, Marcus Aurelius. But it's so true. It's like, I'm rich in experience. I'm the mistake master. And because I wasn't afraid to make mistakes or afraid to try, I got to jump back in the experiment again, this experiment called life. And each one of us is an unproven solution. And there it is, it's reconnected. As we keep growing, we keep adding to this molecule or chain or chemistry bond that equals the same conclusion, is that you're still alive. This is your path, your brain, your memories, your challenges, and that's all going to work out. Like, even if you had to die today, that's your day. Like, that's something weird to say, right? Like, oh, I don't want anybody to die. Unfortunately, we do. And as long as we live in, that's the game to be put in front of us. So those who live life fully get to make that experiment full contact. We get to experience ourselves fully, unabashedly, and get to this thing where we like, well, we tested it. The math problem was on the board, And as we went through it, we had a few problems, we had a few challenges, but at the end of the day, it all rubs out. We're just a bunch of stardust trying to enjoy the most of this thing called life. Not everyone gets a chance at it. There's a lot of people that want to have children and can't have children, or want to have freedom. They don't have freedom. And those that get the ability to actually even get Wi-Fi get the chance to create their lives to the best of their ability, the way you want to. And what a cool experiment that is. Like I said, you're in the coffin. It's almost like we're in the coffin anywhere. We're usually on our back playing on our phones looking up above. And we're wasting away this thing called life while the other guys get super paid off of it. I think Mark Zuckerberg's the 4th richest man in the world. Super paid off your attention. Such a famous website that we do all the work and they get paid. How weird is that? How ass backwards is that? That your lifespan, the literal thing that makes you alive, is going to someone else and making them rich. That's how important life is. That's how important your eyeballs are. That's how important your brain is. That's how important your life is. It's like time is that important to people that they're willing to trick you out of it, right? And like, just drink this beer, lose a day of your life. Or, man, just sleep in, stay comfortable. Or, buy my product so you can be just like me. And there's so many people that do that, where they give themselves over. Their whole life equation equals to somebody else is getting paid. We have the opportunity. There you go. And we do. If you're getting internet, you got the opportunity. And even without that, life's purpose is on by design. And I love getting out of my own way. I love getting, like I told my friend earlier today, I love proving people wrong to non-believers, because then they can see miracles are there. They can see how real it is, and it's not just on somebody else. A lot of people like to go, well, I don't have the money. First things first, they always go, we don't have the money. I'm like, your attention's worth money. Facebook's paying for it. Instagram's paying for it. They'll take your attention and turn it into profit. How's that possible? So what if we took our attention, rewrote the equation, and got the profit switched to us? What if we did the math right and stopped giving it over to other people and started giving it to ourselves? Wow. And that's what I posted today on Saints Addiction, was that I didn't disappear. I traded nightclubs for knowledge, right? Let me see if I can remember this whole thing. I traded money for passion, right? And I traded work for time. I'd rather have my time. And most people rather have cash. And I'm a time over cash person all day. Come get a Saints Anarchy shirt, time over cash, because that's going to be more valuable. But we don't value ourselves as much. We don't value the experience as much, the challenge as much. And what a positive way to look at it. Just boom, like, oh shit, here's some struggle, here's some drama. How awesome is that? Like, how many people like, give me the ball, Michael Jordan, crossover, Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, I want to take the last shot. Most people are like, I'm running away from the last shot. Don't pass me the ball. I don't want to be a part of this team no more. And you can't run off this team, because it's you. It's your life team. You ain't got no one else to work for but you. So as your challenges come knocking at your door, and they got a little red bow with your name on it, clap, because it's a present. Inside is a lesson. And this experiment is your life. And the way we anticipate these gifts, right? The way we perceive them will change the whole content of that package. So, I mean, so many people, they just rather bitch. They're addicted to bitching. They're addicted to complaining. It's true. You can be addicted to complaining. Most people don't want to talk about it, but it's true. And instead of being a complainer, you can be a learner. First perception switch. And instead of it being an end to your story, this could be just a bump in your story. And that's what makes us who we are. the learning experiences of life. That's why it's so important to listen to our elders and go, oh shit, you did that too? They might not have the internet, social media, but they definitely have had relationship issues. They've definitely had experience on growing as an individual, and they definitely had experience on learning this game called life. So that's your challenge. Your challenge is to learn you and learn the ability to believe in your worth, believe in your value, believe that it's going to work out. And a lot of people are going to be like, but this is what ends me. I'll never forget my friend. Is this what ends me? I'll never forget him saying that. This is what ends me. But it didn't end him. He kept going. And so can you. And that keep going, everything's going to be okay, it's all going to work out attitude has got me a lot of things where I didn't think I had the money for it. And yet, boom, something got deposited. I had enough money to pay for things, groceries, gas, whatever I needed, rent. It wasn't the most. It wasn't the amount that I fully needed, but it was enough to get by. It's enough to pay for the days I'm here. It's enough to pay for the meals that I ate. It's enough for me to cook some of my own meals. And that's when I start growing. I start allowing myself the possibility of the drama ending, the depression ending, and the fear ending. And after this 1 week of meditation that I've been on, I have quickly realized that I can just close my eyes in any moment I want and just focus. Just close my eyes. I don't owe anyone explanation. They can view me, watch me, judge me, whatever the fuck I used to pay attention to. That's on them. That's external. The thing that I have is the breath in my lungs and my focus and my ability to make my mindset work for me. Everything's going to be okay. It's all going to work out. This too shall pass. All those headlines. And let that do the work. They used to say, let God do the work. And let my abilities and all the work that I've done be my final word in judgment. I don't getting both done at the same time. Yeah, I feel the burn. I don't catastrophize. I don't make mountains into molehills. I make my mountain come to me and say, this is my life. I decided this, and no matter where it goes, it's still going to continue, and I will make it to the other side. So we can complain all the way through the process, or we can enjoy the process. And that's something that I'd rather do. I'd rather enjoy this process called life instead of damning it or freaking the fuck out or making it worse than it is. I'd simply take it on the chin as a lesson. Even when they're stealing my truck from me, and my truck all the way in America. Even when they towed my truck before the first Friday session, this truck's always getting towed. Even when they're arresting me. Even when I got no money. I'm on my mom's balcony and I just say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start a weed magazine for nothing. I'm going to go travel to Brazil with nothing. I'm just going to go. And boldly go where no one's gone before. Just go and do you. Because there's so much that's going to happen that we don't know about. And it's that possibility that ignites me. It's the reason I get up in the morning. It's the reason that I keep trying. So that's your morning marijuana motivation. Oh, my heart from the start, your boy Mark, he's saying, every morning I get up and I'm blessed. And now I got to let you go because I'm going to finish this workout. So like, share, subscribe. Give it to that friend that thinks that they got nothing. Share it with that friend that is in depression. Share it with the friend that doesn't think things are going to work out. Because it always does, whether we see the view or not, whether we understand the path or not. Peace and love. And as always, Chigathon, that means goodbye but not forever. And I will see you on the other side, because that's where we're all going to end up. Peace. Ciao.